What's up guys, it's Tom here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about what every team needs to do this offseason. So I'll be mentioning some players that teams need to bring back, maybe sign some new guys, and also talk about holes that they could fill or positions that they could improve upon. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite team needs to do this offseason, and we can have a chat down below in the comments. We got 30 teams to cover, and that's going to take a lot of time, and I don't want to waste your time, so let's get right into it. Let's start in the AL East with the Orioles. They have all the budget in the world, all the cap space in the world to work with, but I don't think they'll be signing anyone big. Probably some veteran guys to bring in and fill some holes and just try to keep improving upon their prospects and some of the talent that they have. Next up, we got the Blue Jays. I think they need top tier pitching, aka re-signing Robbie Ray, and also some bullpen help. You know, they could definitely use that with some bullpen help and that offense that they have with a rotation with Robbie Ray back and maybe another mid-level starter. They'll be very good this season. The Red Sox need starting pitching for sure, as can be seen in the playoffs. Besides some solid performances by Eduardo Rodriguez and Nathan Eovaldi, they look pretty shaky for the most part. Their offense carried the majority of the time, so bringing some starting pitching in would definitely help. However, they don't have much cap space left to sign a bunch of guys, so they're gonna have to be efficient with their money. For the Yankees, they need to sign Carlos Correa, which is a big time name, and that'll definitely put them over the luxury tax this coming year, but I think the Yankees are okay with that. And also signing some depth pieces, maybe some bench bats, utility guys, because that's where they struggled as well. When guys start to get hurt for the Yankees, things go south very quickly. The Rays, they need more starting pitching. Their bullpen's always elite. Their offense was really good this year as well. So if they get another starter with Glasnow eventually coming back, they'll be looking in pretty good shape. They also picked up Mike Zunino's option, so he's coming back as well. For the AL Central, we'll start with the White Sox. The White Sox picked up Craig Kimbrell's option and declined Cesar Hernandez's option, so they're going to need to fill a spot at second base, which in my other video, if you want to go check out right now, are my top free agents and where I think they'll go. I have Chris Taylor going to the White Sox, and I think it would fit the White Sox needs very well. Okay, for the Tigers, I think they could get some big name players this offseason, maybe a really good veteran starting pitcher that they could sign, or some young shortstop talent in this loaded class. They have a lot of money to throw around, basically unlimited money if they're willing to spend it. I gotta start calling the Cleveland team the Guardians now. Honestly, I don't really know. It seems like they're selling. It seems like they're not gonna buy, but some outfield help would be needed, especially at the corners, in my opinion. The Royals, I think they need a big-time outfielder, another impact bat. For the Twins, they need to re-sign Byron Buxton to a deal. They've kind of been pushing this off forever now, and there's been rumors of him getting traded as well, but Byron Buxton is a guy that you want to build your team around, and it'd be a shame if he left the Twins. To the AL West we go, and we'll start with the Astros. They picked up Yuli Gurriel's option, which is a no-brainer for $8 million, bringing back the AL batting champ. And then they also need, in my opinion, a center fielder, catcher, and shortstop when Correa leaves. I think the most urgent ones are shortstop and catcher. The Mariners, I think they're in for a big offseason, signing some big names, which I mentioned in my last video. They need pitching. I think they're going to sign an impact bat or two this offseason, try to replace Kyle Seager, and also add starting pitching as well. The Angels, they're going to have one more year with Justin Upton on the books until it frees up $28 million, and I think they'll be making big splashes this year, especially for that top tier starting pitching, and also maybe a shortstop that played for the Los Angeles Dodgers. But I think with some good pitching additions, the Angels will be scary with their lineup if they're all healthy. The A's, I think they got a pretty good core to build around. I think they just need to add some outfield help. Gold Glovers on both sides of the infield, and those are some great studs to build around. So let's see if they can bring in some additional help. The last team in the West, the Rangers, I mean, they need everything. They'll sign anyone that they can get. Just don't lock anyone up to super long-term deals unless it's a top-tier free agent. We're done with the AL now. Let's start with the NL. We'll start in the East with the Braves. They need to re-sign Freddie Freeman, plain and simple. They had guys like Jorge Soler and Eddie Rosario step up. I think they need to sign one of those free agent outfielders from that year's team, whether that's Soler or Rosario. And also maybe some depth pieces for the rotation and bullpen, and you're looking good. because Mike Soroka will be coming back, and hopefully he can get back to his form pre-injury, and the Braves will be even better coming off a World Series victory. For the Marlins, I think they might be buyers here, even though they traded away Starling Marte. I think they need a veteran outfielder and veteran starter, just some veterans around the clubhouse to improve their young core, to take some pressure off of these young guys and let them blossom and do their thing while the veterans contribute. Even Miguel Rojas is open to a position change, so maybe you're thinking one of the top shortstops headed to Miami. Even though that's a long shot, could happen. For the Mets, they need to get their front office situation figured out ASAP, because if you don't have a GM or any of the front office people to make the shots, you don't even know what kind of shots you're going to be taking. I think it might be a train wreck of an offseason. They got a lot of free agents, guys that they need to sign back. We'll start with Javier Baez. I think they should sign him back. I like the upside that he has and the chemistry he has with Francisco Lindor and Steve Cohen. I think he'll pay up the big bucks for him. Guys to sign back, they have Stroman, Aaron Luke, Syndergaard, Yar, and Conforto, who rejected their qualifying offer. They gave qualifying offers to Conforto and Syndergaard. Conforto rejected it. So, in my opinion, unless the Mets are willing to pay more money, he's out of New York. For the Phillies, I think it's simple. A center fielder and also bullpen help. Nationals, same case as the Rangers. Just start building around Juan Soto. They traded everyone away. I don't think they'll be buying huge at all. Just some veteran guys to fill some spots for the season this year. For the Central, we'll start with the Cubs. They're going to have a lot of money to sign guys, in my opinion. They just got Wade Miley off of waivers, which I think is a great addition to the team. They need starting pitching help and some outfield help as well. So that Wade Miley addition is a great start to their offseason. For the Reds, I think they need to find someone to replace Nick Castellanos. They're going to have money to make some additions. It's just going to come down to whether or not they want to spend that money. For the Brewers, I think it could be a huge offseason for them as well. They could go after a huge impact bat on the market, try to make some upgrades at the outfield positions. They got Avisail Garcia that they could re-sign. I think he had a great season in my opinion, so I wouldn't mind them signing him back to a deal. It's the last year that Lorenzo Cain is on the books for $16 million, and adding some depth to the bullpen, because if Hader or Williams goes down, they're in big trouble, and we already know that rotation is locked down. Okay, the Pirates, same thing as the other teams that are rebuilding. Just try to rebuild around Brian Hayes or Brian Reynolds. I've heard that they're trying to shop around Brian Reynolds and the price is really high, understandably, because it's really their only assets that they have on the team. Sorry, Pittsburgh fans. I don't have much else to say. The Cardinals, I think they're in a great position this offseason to make some huge moves as well. Carlos Martinez, Matt Carpenter coming off the books, which is a combined $35 million coming off the books. I think they'll get a stud shortstop. I think a guy like Trevor Story would be huge. Maybe some chemistry there with Nolan Arenado, and hopefully they don't have bad blood from the Rockies days, but I'm sure Nolan would try to get Trevor Story there with how good he is. Adding some impact pitching as well. Maybe not a frontline starter. I mean, that always helps, but hopefully they get him at a good price. Just some good solid pitching that will eat some innings for you this year. For the last division, we'll talk about the NL West and start with the D-backs. Their only big contract is Madison Bumgarner, so they have plenty of money to make some moves. I don't know how realistic it is for them to make any big signings. I guess they could be in the market, but I think they'll just get some veterans to fill some spots again. The Rockies, always a tough place to get pitchers to go to, but I think they'll need some bullpen help. They could be in the market for some huge hitters. I think they could use some outfield help. Trevor Story is going to be gone, obviously. Maybe try to sign some sort of valuable shortstop. Doesn't have to be top of the market kind of guy. And I think they'll be pretty set. They'll hit pretty good this coming year. It's just a matter of, are they going to be able to prevent other teams from scoring? The Dodgers, quite a busy offseason already, so they did not give a qualifying offer to Clayton Kershaw. Trevor Bauer is not opting out of his contract, obviously, because he's getting paid $64 million, I think, over the next 2 years, so no one's going to turn that down, especially with the situation he's in. Lots of star free agents. You got Scherzer, Seager, Chris Taylor. Who else? We got Kenley Jansen on there and Kershaw. So the Dodgers could look a bit different next year if they don't get those guys back. And the big question comes down to Trey Turner or Corey Seager. I don't think you can have a team where both of them exist right now, especially when Corey Seager is looking for a $300+ million deal. So I think it comes down to, do you want Trey Turner or Corey Seager? Chris Taylor is the guy I think they really need to re-sign. He kind of holds the team together. If someone goes down, he can fill in any spot on the diamond, more or less. But I think because of the fact that he can play a lot of positions, he'll attract a lot of good contracts this offseason. For the Giants, Buster Posey just retired, so you got $22 million coming off the books. Their number one priority is going to be to rebuild that rotation. A lot of their guys are free agents: Kevin Gausman, DeSclafani, and Alex Wood as well. So I think they'll bring back Kevin Gausman for sure. They did not give a qualifying offer to DeSclafani, so unless they work out a longer term, smaller AAV kind of deal, I don't see DeSclafani coming back. So they're gonna have to figure that rotation out. And their priority as well would probably be to re-sign Chris Bryant. They're gonna have a lot of money to make some moves this offseason, and I expect them to do so. The last team we'll talk about are the Padres. The Padres, their pitching staff, underwhelming for a lot of the big names in their rotation. Joe Musgrove actually did really good out of that group. I guess you could add one more piece to the rotation, but they don't have much cap space, and I don't expect them to do that bad or that poorly like they did this year. I think the pitching staff will do better this coming year, so add some bullpen depth. I think you need to find a closer. I believe Mark Melanson is out of there, so find a closer. That's what every team needs to do this offseason. Let me know down in the comments what you think your team needs to do this offseason. I talked about my team, Mariners, impact bat, and starting pitching. If you haven't checked it out already, make sure to go check out my video talking about the top free agents and where I think they'll sign this offseason as well. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more MLB content. With that being said, thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.